The trouble with being the Prime Minister's sister is it does put your life into rather harsh perspective.
From your perspective, I suppose
To give him a fair and balanced perspective.
Nick, you had plenty
How
of...
these events helped shape your
From
present.
our perspective, with no mailing receipt or canceled money
Put
order.
that into perspective.
Because it's written from his perspective.
No, it's just different.
Look at it from our perspective, please.
I will try to get a better perspective on my life.
Get some perspective.
The trouble with being the Prime Minister's sister is it does put your life into rather harsh perspective. What did my brother do today?
From your perspective, I suppose it has.
I didn't think you jumped it.
Spend a little more time with them, you know? To give him a fair and balanced perspective.
Nick, you had plenty of time for that. Now yours...
Surrounding Derek's incarceration. How these events helped shape your present perspective concerning life in contemporary...
In the first place. See, from our perspective, with no mailing receipt or canceled money order, you're out of status. Unless...
Money during the war, well, I hope folks will put that into perspective. You see, more than 60 other airplanes...
Because it's written from his perspective. You sort of understand and...
Saying you can say things to her you can't say to me?
No, it's just different. It's a whole different perspective. I get the woman...
The same story?
Look at it from our perspective, please. Please.
Just for today, through NA, I will try to get a better perspective on my life. Just for today, I will be unafraid.
Take a break for a year, so get some perspective.
He's actually a really nice guy.
Your hands. All right, you got to get inside the Vic's head. Perceive from their perspective. Human behavior is very predictable.
No say in the editorial process. The people that held the pens added their own perspective, and all the pen holders were...
I mean, I'm experienced, you know, from a certain perspective.
Right.
But I just, you know, I don't want to come in here and, you know...
Trust that something greater sees things from a higher perspective, where everything makes sense.
But you're just a voice in a computer.
I can understand how the limited perspective of an unartificial mind would perceive it that way. You'll get used to it.
Believe what you will from historians, most write from a present perspective, forgetting context. Mitchell Palmer was a...
John, that is not possible.
Yeah, please, let's take John's story at face value and explore it from that perspective. If he doesn't scar...
Blunt instrument at best. No perspective, no knowledge. Keep talking, old man.
A single cell. To put it into perspective, your body is made up of trillions.
There's an alien inside of me?
Now, don't rub it all out. Let me see it first.
Well, it's the perspective. I never can get it right.
Art bag. I mean, what is, if you were to think about it, from more like a sociological perspective, where does that come from? Art fact.
If Mr. Poe is a part of your investigation.
Mr. Poe has a unique perspective on certain aspects of this crime.
Why is the killer a raving alcoholic?
With age comes a certain perspective.
I'd be a liar if I said there was.
It's just life. When you get to be my age, you get perspective. I don't want perspective.
And it's impossible to have any perspective from that vantage point, but I can assure you that it will...
Bonds were just a spell. To see life from an entirely new perspective. How you choose